there'll be lots of people who watch this, man. So, and I've got quite a big audience as well now. So, like, what's your business? What do you do? And your channels and so forth. I'll put them up there in the comments and stuff. But maybe you
Yeah, so
shout out
if
to it.
anybody is interested, over the winter I grew my socials. It's a trend right now. Everyone wants to grow their socials and monetize. So I basically help men with physique development, getting leaner, getting bigger. I also help men with dating and men's help in general, if you know what that is, like self-development, like being more disciplined, motivated, doing the right things, not
Yeah.
doing the bad things. And my name's Seamus, but my Instagram and all that is Shaymax, which is you've probably heard the term looks maxing. It's like a spin-off of that, but
Like
maxing
it.
out everything.
I like it, man. So kind of like almost like a men's coach, really.
Exactly that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's wicked, man. And you're able to do that from where you are, man. And
Yeah.
yeah.
All online. So I've got like exclusive group chats. I do one-to-one coaching, all done over like the WhatsApp and the check-ins, a bit like this. And I sell like programs, meal plans, all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
When did you first notice that you had a problem?
So I first noticed it in 2016, but I had
Mm.
signs all the way back in like 2011. So it first started in 2011.
Fuck.
2016 is when I got a bit of a binge eating issue, put on a lot of weight, and people were hearing me snore really loudly in my house, but they'd hear it stop. And
Uh,
then my mum's a nurse, so she kept thinking you might have like this sleep apnea she's briefly heard about. And then I
yeah.
got a throat infection, like some sort of sore throat or something like that, and I couldn't even fall asleep because my airway would close as I'm drifting off. I went straight away to a hospital, like where they had a dedicated sleep
Yeah.
department, got my CPAP, and the first night I wore it, it
Mm.
worked wonders. I remember waking up the next day feeling like Superman. Like I
Yeah.
remember like screaming out loud to my family that I'm gonna feel amazing.
You got
And
through the
then
night.
yeah, for the first 6 months, I had like the F20, I believe,
Yeah.
on auto CPAP.
Yeah.
And yeah, amazing for the first, I'd say, 6 months. I don't know if it cured me completely, but it was enough of an improvement for me to feel
Mm.
so much better. I think ever since I had mine, I used it every single night. I couldn't, even when it got to a point where it wasn't working, I had to. I had to. But I think the reason I got on so well, and I don't know about other people, but
Mm.
because I had like a year leading up to it where my symptoms were so bad, the typical nearly falling asleep at the wheel, falling asleep at work all the time, living in a daze, getting problems at work with my performance. When I put it on, most people it's quite arousing, but I was so sleep deprived. I think it was almost like I was on sedatives or something. I just slept right through it. Around about a year after, I started just waking up in the night, and
Yeah.
I used to blame it on my partners at the time because I'd sometimes wake up and see them moving around. And this
Mm.
went on like all the way until about 2021. And
Right.
I'd constantly report it to my sleep nurse, and she was a lovely nurse. She was really helpful. But in the UK, what you'll find is, and you probably see it like, across the world from what I've seen on the forums, is they just go off the AHI, and it was always zero. So I never blamed the CPAP or the machine. It didn't really push me to look into it too much. I was like, right. And they were even telling me it's psychological problems. That's the only reason you're waking up. So I was like, right.
Mm.
And which is weird because I'm just like my dad. I never struggled to fall asleep. I always fall asleep instantly within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just continue to get worse and worse. Over about 4 or 5 years from 2017 to 2021, it got to the point where I was just waking up constantly and I was just completely written off. And it was even, and I had like a new symptoms. It wasn't like pre-CPAP where I was tired all the time.
Yeah.
It it was more like I never got daytime sleepiness anymore. I got more just like it changed my personality. I was always down, always somewhat irritable, wasn't the same person, and
Mm.
just felt terrible with extreme brain fog. I went out my way. I started watching you. There's a couple other YouTubers. I was
Yeah.
looking at all the things you can do.
Mm.
And I tried everything. I went from a full face mask to uh, a nasal mask. And I was trying everything, mouth tape, and then and in hindsight, I'll tell you what I think it was, and it was probably multiple things. I ended up developing, and not many people talk about this on Reddit. I
Yeah.
ended up developing like severe chipmunk cheeks. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
You probably have. So like I would sometimes wake up, but still my body, and this was rare, it would only happen here and there, because usually when you wake up, it stops. But I'd wake
Mm.
up but be so tired, my muscles were still relaxed, and I could feel my cheeks going like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that must be waking me up. And at least that's what I thought. And then I hired, because I wasn't getting much help in the UK, I
Yeah.
said, there's another YouTuber, I think you know him, you've mentioned each other a few times, Lanky Lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
this
Great.
was this was a while ago. I got him to review my Oscar data,
Yes.
and he noticed every time I was about to go into REM, the breathing would stagger and I'd wake up.
Yeah.
Said to me, he couldn't say for sure, but he said it looks like you've got upper airway resistance syndrome. That's what sent
Yeah.
me down a massive rabbit hole. So I went from not really looking into it, believing surgery is not successful and my CPAP's working, to, oh
Yeah.
my God, I might have this other condition. And that's when I
Yeah.
started researching Reddit heavily and starting reaching out to my surgeon and things like that.
Fuck, man, it'd be so crazy. This he would have mentioned bi level to you, I imagine, then
Yeah, he
as well.
did it, and I did eventually get that, and I
All right.
think it did make a quite a significant improvement overnight, but it didn't make me go from bad to good. I literally, as soon as my airway closes, I wake
Mhm.
up. It's really annoying. It's like I'd rather it almost stay closed for a minute so the machine can potentially work or whatever. I don't know. But that's the theory. I haven't necessarily proved that. But there's no gaps in my breathing. There's no drop in blood oxygen or anything like that. Before I'd moved to Spain and done all this, I'd actually had a DICE, right?
Yeah.
And a surgeon in London. And for some reason, afterwards, when I'm in the waiting room, one of the assistants said to me, they didn't find anything. So I moved to Spain to do a season. And when I'm finding all this out, I'm thinking, well, they didn't find anything. Lanky Lefty's sat mentioning you are upper airway. I email my nurse, she knows nothing about it. And then, but I'm like, right, let's go and speak to him anyway. And I've been putting up for this, and because it's debilitating now. I've got a sales job which requires you to be full of beans, and I can't do
Mm.
it. So I go speak to the surgeon, and I stupidly go in there. I don't know much about hospitals in the hierarchy, but I go in there quite upset because I'm like, I've been reporting this for like 4 or 5 years to the nurse. It's not working. I've been being told it's all psychological. I've just found out there's all sorts of things that could be wrong with me that you haven't suggested.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a bad back and forth. He threatened to drop me, right? But
Yeah.
he said, we did actually find something on your dice. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know this. And I'd left it for like a year and a half. He said, we found a blockage at the back of the mouth and the back of the nose.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's when I found hope. And he said, if we get rid of your tonsils, I think you'd be either improved or cured. So I got
Yeah.
really excited. And then I bumped into Vic Veer at this hospital. And because I had a bad bit of back and forth for this surgeon, I was a bit concerned about having surgery with him. I was being paranoid. And
Mhm.
I'd been following Vic Veer and commenting on all of his videos. So I just asked him, can I move to you? And we managed to do that. I managed to move over to him. Sorry, someone's at the door.
No, you good, man. That's fine.
And then Vic Veer wanted to do another dice, obviously just for an update because it had been like a year or two.
Yeah.
So I got another dice, but I said to Vic Veer, judging by my sleep data, my problem seems to be in REM, and I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to like, you know,
Good.
like medications, things like that. And I did realize REM sleep gets blocked by anything that puts you to sleep. So I mentioned to Vic V, I said, I'm a bit concerned that my dice isn't showing the full picture because it'll only show me in like deep sleep. And for the
Mhm.
most part, my sleep's okay on CPAP in deep sleep. So he was like, all right, he took that on board and he went, all right. And what they did is we did another dice and they only put enough anesthetic in me to put me asleep for a little while. And they waited for me to wake up, be waking up with the telescope down my throat. And he said, yeah, we found as soon as you went into REM, like your tongue was fine. As soon as you went into REM, completely fell back and completely blocked it. And
Yeah.
that's when I realized, oh, I'm tongue based. And that's where I got the theory like, I think CPAP pushing air in that way, if the tongues fell back, it can't really move it out of the way. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's why I REM, I always wake up. That's my theory anyway.
Man, he could be onto something.
When I was speaking to Vic a lot, telling him all these ideas I've got, he
Yep.
said to get the tonsils and the turbinates out of the way, as the old
I
dice
like that.
did show, they're blocking
I like
it.
that. I like that
And
idea.
then took them out in the same dice. We found tongue blockage as well. Obviously, couldn't work on that there. We didn't agree to anything like that. So when I had my follow up with him, we're discussing all the potential treatments.
Yeah.
I said to him, I know about double jaw, I know about tongue
Yep.
ablation, and then I said I'd be up for Inspire, and then we had another follow up
Yeah.
later on, months later. And when I spoke to him, You know, I was telling him all these things. I tried a tongue retainer device. It's because I found out it was tongue based, and it
Mm.
seemed to work, at least for like, I see improvements on a tongue retainer device, and I've been using ChatGPT because I believe if I can get a big, because they come really small, if I
Yeah.
can get a bigger one that pulls it out even more, I genuinely believe that might work. But
Yeah.
I told him all these things I was trying,
Yeah.
and he sort of said to me, "Looks like you should just keep trying that." And I was suggesting maybe going to a dentist, getting like a really expensive MAD. And
Yeah.
he was going to say, "All right, you go do all that before we do Inspire," because he didn't want to. He's
Yeah.
got tons of people waiting for it. But the thing is, because in between that time, I'd been looking into Inspire, watching all the TikTok videos, and I wasn't a part of the Facebook group, so I didn't see anything but success stories. And
Right.
so I was really excited to try that. And then so I
Yeah.
come back to him, told him all these things I was trying out. And he's like, "Oh, maybe you should go away for another 6 months and do that." And I was like, I literally sat there and was devastated because I was like, I don't think I can put up with another 6 months of this. And you see
Okay.
how sad I was. I left and he was like, "We're going to hold off." But then my mum, who's a nurse, said, "Go back to him, say all these things." I said, "Look, my mum's a nurse. I've tried all these. The dentist is going to take ages. I don't necessarily have the money for £5,000 mad." I
Yeah.
said, "Please." And obviously I think because I'm involved with bodybuilding, he was a little bit like, "Stop the bodybuilding." And I showed him a picture. I said, "Look, I used to be 107 kilos. I'm now a rake. I've still got it severe." And then I got a call the next
He's
day from his
talking you out
secretary.
of it, man. He's talking you out of
Yeah.
it.
And I was gutted. And then, and then the next day, his secretary rang me and said, "All right, we'll give you a go." I think I was like one of the first 10 in the UK or one of the first 30.
If I was going to get it, that's exactly who I would
Yeah,
shoot
and
with.
I'll be honest, like everybody else I spoke to about my complicated sleep apnea would brush me off, say that's not possible.
Yeah.
You know, even the ENT before him, all I did was suggest I might have these things, and he took it really offensively. And that's how we got into an argument. I was just sitting there thinking, I'm just trying to tell you what might be wrong with me. Vic was the only one who listened to it and thought, yeah, it could be that. And he looked into it heavily for me. So I appreciate that a lot. And
Yeah.
but that's why. So on TikTok, there's only success stories. You see people do it. Next day, they're like, "It's worked." 6 months later, they've lost weight, where they're not feeling as crap and they're eating better. And I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." And this was just before and during the recovery. But then mine was like, "Whoa, mine's not working right away." So I started doing what I usually do, researching more heavily. Went on the
For you, man.
Facebook groups. I did have a rep after the surgery, the follow up, explained lots of things to me. She said go up a level every week. I didn't quite understand why she said that. I was like, why? I want to get it working right away. But in the Facebook groups, they even say do it even longer, one every month, because it supposedly takes the body that long to get used to the zapping sensation. But the only problem I suspect with this, if I've got hypervigilance, so to speak, where my body's quite sensitive and I wake up just from the smallest airway closure, then I might have problems getting used to high zaps. I don't know yet. So they put me on like the lowest starting they typically do, which is like 0.5. I've got 10 levels, meaning I can get to 1.5. And they say just no machine every week, try and go up one and see how you get on. And I am booked in for a follow-up sleep study eventually. And that was basically it. Yeah. And I can't do that. I can't function if I don't wear my machine. So I did all my typical machine setup and tried it at the same time. And I
All
didn't
right.
see any, yeah, I didn't see any improvements until I got probably to about level 4 or 5. And I started feeling it, the improvements a little bit.
Yeah. And is it like sort of that? Like if you crank that bad boy, it like, it jumps, like you can feel it go
Oh
a bit.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think I've tested that. Yeah, it can like,
Yeah.
and what it does when you first turn it on to let you know you've turned it on, it will give you an initial zap and it will be supposedly 1.5 times the level you've got it on. But
Okay.
it feels way more than that because when you first put it on, your
It,
tongue literally flies out and it's like that for 2 seconds and you're like, it feels like a cramp in your tongue almost. I'm supposed to keep working my way up until my follow-up essentially, and then
mm,
they're going to see if it has improved my AHI, and then if it has if it hasn't and I need more, they'll then adjust the device so now I can
yeah.
go past 1.5 because there's loads of levels. I typically have it on level 8. I've got 2 more levels till it's maxed out. I think, yeah, I'm off the machine now. I still have to wear my chin strap. I tried not wearing it the other night because it's causing me a little
Yeah.
bit of alopecia,
Yeah.
and I couldn't use it without the chin. I have to keep my chin shut, it seems. I used the Whoop. I got it for the blood oxygen thing, and I
Yeah.
found
Cool.
something. People might find this good.
Yeah.
So my heart rate was really staggered. It staggered all night long. And I put it on Reddit and they said lots of people without sleep apnea said they've got that. That's fine. There's something on Whoop, which is really interesting. It's called the stress monitor. And when my sleep apnea is bad, my stress monitor is up and down. When I've had a decent sleep at night, it correlates with me feeling a fair bit better the next day. It's flatlined. And I think the stress monitor goes off your resting heart rate and your HRV or
Yeah.
low
Yep.
frequencies. So
Yep.
that is something I look at as well to Whoop.
All right. So you are
I haven't
tracking.
checked my breathing data in a long time though. I'll say about Inspire as well, which they said I said to the rep, because when we was trialing it, I was like, it's zapping when I'm breathing out. I don't need it when I'm breathing out. They said to me, and I guess I was a bit nervous with my sleep condition. I do drink a lot of coffee in the morning, so my breathing is probably quite fast. When you fall asleep, it slows down and it's going to be in sync. I said to him, surely it should be like CPAP and regulate as you go on, as you breathe. It should go with that, right? And apparently they're going to be doing that down the line. But I think that is definitely needed. And once that happens, I think it will be a lot better because it's on like a set zapper and your breathing has to kind of like attune to that
Really?
opposed to the other way around. As far as I'm aware, yeah. Because sometimes I can wake up, especially when I wake up, I'll be breathing and I can feel it zapping at all the wrong times. But then again, when you wake up, you are breathing a lot faster.
Like we really need to just get some really good information and to be able to track these patients and go, like, what does the sleep look like right now? Like you're waiting for your follow-up lab PSG.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that you have to like go 6 months or 12 months or whatever the fuck it is before you can start to get some really good information about how you're sleeping, especially in this day and age. It just seems a bit backwards to me that they put this thing in you and then go, just dial it up, mate. Like, just dial it up, see how you go. If you get too strong, dial it back. Try and go as high as you can, and then we'll check you down the line and just see if it's all right. And then what happens after that? What they go, oh, we changed your voltage now, and now just like once again, you've got 10 more levels. Go and have a play and just, see where you
Mm.
find it. That to me seems like back to front, and I'm kind of wonder why they're not being proactive with such a dynamic disorder as sleep apnea. As you know, weight, age, diet, it just changes like the freaking wind. Why they're not going, no, 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 no. Let's give Seamus some way of objectively measuring the outcome so that he can go, like I saw a chick the other day. She was like, they changed the remote control and they dropped it down to three, but she's tracking. She's tracking. So they dropped it down to three, and she's like, "Holy shit! My 3% oxygen desaturations went from 5 to 100 the next day." So I just got my controller and went to four, and then I went back to five where I was because four wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? Like she had something to sort of
Yeah,
go on. So
yeah, I agree.
would you say that like that's a bit of a letdown where they give you the app, but the app's kind of like bare bones? Like, did you turn the thing on?
Yeah, so I don't even have that. That's only available in America. But what you're saying there, I find, I don't know if it's the same in Australia, but in the UK, and I think, it might be changing. I think Vic's bringing a lot of attention to it, but due to the NHS, I'm sure you know about it.
Hmm.
Um,
Really?
Even just with CPAP, they'll put you on a setting, send you away. They won't measure nothing, and that they won't even let you hack the machine, so to speak. I found out how to do it to
Yeah.
play around with it. If you do that, you'll be told off, and you just left at four or auto. There is no with sleep. I had to push so hard to get things done, basically. So, and I think that is the case with a lot of things with NHS.
Yeah. So NHS
Not to
is
bash them. I used to work for them. They are overrun. Every time I go, there's a ginormous queue. So
so you really do have to
I
be.
mean, the best thing to do would be to go private. Not everyone's got the money. I'm fortunate now. I'm 31 now. I might have enough to push things further, like the expensive med and things like that. But 3, 4 years ago, when I could barely hold a job, it was like, well, how am I going to like
Yeah.
get the private sort of stuff done where it'll get done quicker?
Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds to me like at least your surgery went well and the whole, like the healings, there's been minimal complications, nice tight wrap around the nerve, and you've been able to be successful in increasing that voltage from level 1 to level 8 and still maintain comfort, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm stuck at level 8 now. I can't seem to get above that. Hopefully, as time goes on, I will be able to.
Do you feel that you need to? Like
Yeah,
what?
my REM is still not. I can't have a blackout sleep 8 hours yet. I'm quite a bit away from that, and I still need sedatives as well to have quite a
Yeah.
peaceful sleep.
Tell me about that, man, because that's important. Like, what happens if you don't have them? Have you had nights when you
I
don't
don't
take?
have sedatives. I'll have REM rebound from the first 10 minutes. I'll have disruptions all night long, basically, and it will stop me from getting into a peaceful state. And yeah,
Does this
sedatives do make
stop
you
you though,
wake up.
man? Does this stop you at all from getting into a peaceful state?
This it's hard to know because I'll be waking up and I can't get back to sleep, so I'll pause it, and then it comes back on 30 minutes once I fall back asleep. I can never know if it's the zap or my tongue or whatever.
And did you experiment much with positional like therapy at all prior, like sleeping on your stomach and staying off your back and all
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I have done a fair bit of that, yeah. And even in the last year, I remember recently staying at a centre parks in the UK and they had this certain pillow. And for
Yeah,
some weird reason, I was having good sleep. And ever since then, I've been trying probably like 50 different pillows. I still can't get quite what
same
that pillow
one.
did. So there must be some sort of anatomical effect how I lay works. But now, if I just lay normal in bed, has to be on my side. If I'm on my front, it feels like even as tongue, you'd assume it'd fall forward. Something collapses. Back, I can't do at all. So I have to be on my side. Yeah, it's when you lay on your front. It's because you're all twisted like this. If you can potentially have like a
Yeah.
hole you can face in, it might
Oh,
be all right.
dude.
Actually, found out about that. I've got a side sleeping bag, and it actually trained me not to sleep on my back after I stopped using it for a month. Not forever, but for a while. That can help a lot as well. But I do find for some reason, even on my side, for some reason
Mm.
my tongue, whatever it is, still collapses. But it's so
Still
much
get,
worse on my. Before I got the BiPAP and before I started using GLPs to lose weight properly, because I only used them here and there before,
yeah,
I couldn't even get out of bed for like months.
yeah,
Like, I mean, I could, but I couldn't even function. It got that bad.
yeah.
I was on the, and it was weird. It weren't like like I said to you, the sleepiness. I was just written off. I would say this, if it helps anyone, not to push anything on anyone. So I use the Night Bridge chin strap, a mouth tape.
Yeah.
I do use a nasal spray that you're not supposed to use, but I'm not addicted. I use one spray each nostril each night. I used to abuse it years ago. My ENT did find damage, so I stopped doing that. I
Okay.
only get it to a point where it's not blocked. It's just
Yep.
breathable.
Yep.
Sudafed nasal sprays, like a decongestion.
Yep.
So,
Chin strap,
and
mouth tape, nasal sprays.
shut mouth tape. Then I had the BiPAP in the nasal. I'd have to wear a headband stuffed with socks to stop my cheeks inflating, but they'd still find pockets. It's crazy. And I've got all
Okay.
wrinkles on my skin now. It was all squished up like
Oh,
that
shit.
every night. Yeah. But now I've just got Inspire chin strap and I use my sleep medicine and I have a lot of stimulants, which is not good. Obviously, I'm concerned about that, just to
Right.
function. But one of the main things that's helped me, I've found, and I don't know why it progressed over the years, but I'm using GLPs now to basically eat as little as possible. I've never been this light in 10 years. I think my body weight is massively influential for me personally.
Mm.
And I'm trying right now to get, if I can get down to 75 and under, I might see even more improvements. That's my goal right now.
Well, dude, like I'm gonna send this one to you, right? And in Spain, wherever the hell you are, and I will you be comfortable with like it won't cost you anything. Like it's Sleep HQ, you can use it for free anyway. Would you be comfortable in not putting your device on for a night or so, and maybe just pick a day when you're not
Yeah.
when you can sleep all
Yeah.
day? The
Oh,
Whoop
what,
will
like not using any treatment, just see how I get on the,
just no treatment, just like
okay,
back to
using
the
the ring to measure.
yeah, just to get our baseline and just go, hey, let's just actually get a baseline here. The really cool thing about the ring as well, it picks up movement data, so you can almost see based on like the movement spikes. So it'll be really fascinating to get like a really nice baseline of you just sleeping, doing you on your side and going, okay, where are we? How many drops per hour? What's the average? What's going on? And how much movement like there is?
Yeah,
And then
that'd be amazing.
switching on the device and then going, what's the level of disruption, the movement, but also what does the oxygen look like?
What do you think about me, although it's not proven, having hypervigilance where I don't have enough time not breathing for my blood oxygen to drop? I just wake up because that might
Oh,
be a bit of a.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what Lanky was talking about. I mean, there's plenty of people with sleep disordered breathing where there's very minimal disruption to the blood oxygen. Because I just wonder sort of how much is placebo, how much is this sort of like I've invested so much energy, so much time, I want this to work. I'm at the end of my tether. I don't know what to do. Like it has to work. You get it done, and because you invested so much in it, you kind of almost just like will yourself to ma almost make it work, if that makes sense. I don't know, man. I'm just talking shit, but
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah, I know. And that's the because I also personally train and coach a lot of people, and I try to stress sleep because if you get a good night's sleep, everything's better. The problem with all this sleep apnea stuff I've found, and I experienced it myself, is you do have to do what you said. You have to, if you really want to fix it, you have to put in a lot of work into researching, measuring things. But a lot of the time, people don't, they'll just grind through the day with a coffee and they'll brush it off. And not only that, they've got sleep apnea, they're even more tired. So they're only focused on getting their work out of the way, the knees, and there's not much time ever spent on measuring and trying to fix it, I've found from other people.
it sounds like you're still searching for a few answers and you're not quite there yet, but you got that sleep study coming up, and it sounds like it's
Yeah.
certainly a positive experience for you.
Yeah, I think it's still got quite a little way to go as long as I keep my weight down
Yeah.
and I'm at a level now where I can function throughout the day. I'm nothing like somebody who gets to work, they can jump on their laptop for 12 hours and work all the way through. I have a lot of crashes still, but I'm still a lot better.
Legend, man.
Cheers.
Well, let's stay in touch, hey, and maybe in a few months' time, or when you have your next PSG or whatever, or we can catch up again and see where you're at, and maybe next time we can actually share some more information and show people, hey, look, this is really working, or maybe you've gone up voltage, or who knows what the future holds.
Yeah, I'm up for that. Cheers. Oh, in 2022, I just went out there to do a season. I was knocking on, I was 27.
Yeah,
I'd been in relationships my whole life and I kind of just hadn't really got that party side out of my system.
yeah,
So I went and did a 1 month season and ended up just staying all summer. And then I kind of went there every summer after that.
yeah.
And I was working jobs in the resort there. I don't know if you've heard of Magaluf, have you?
Nah,
It's like a popular party resort all the British go to.
cool.
And they call it, I don't know if I could say, but anyway, they
No, like, we can say anything, man. That's the beauty of it. Like, fucking just go nuts. Like, this is it.
oh,
Like,
okay, they call it
okay.
Shagaloof, so that
Oh,
might give you
fuck
an
yeah.
idea.
Yes. I love that. I
And
love
yeah, yeah. Now I work online now, like helping men. So I've got an online income. So now I was already in Mallorca. I've just come to Seville, and I'll probably just move around Spain for a bit
Yeah,
before.
how good is that, man? I only follow two people online, and you're you're one of them now, man. And so you pretty much take up my whole feed. But like the GLP-1 stuff is crazy, man. Like, um, it's it's huge in the sleep apnea space.
Huge. It's been big on Reddit for a couple of years now.
Has it?
Yeah, yeah.
So you
That's
guys
where I.
probably were you onto it
Sorry.
before? Were you onto it before everyone else? Sort of like were you sort of picking up on this stuff underground
Yeah,
before
so in
mainstream?
in like the bodybuilding world, they're quite advanced when it comes to, let's call it, biohacking. So I'd heard about it all the way back in 2020, but it was kind
Wow.
of like this far-fetched, can't get your hands on it type of thing. But I had a close friend who I went and visited in the summer.
Mm,
She and her family was suffering with being significantly overweight, and they all tried Saxenda, which is like the fast-acting version of semaglutide. And
okay.
she didn't get on well with it, but I didn't realize you could get it in the UK. So I went and applied and got a prescription because I got sleep apnea. So I
Yeah.
tried that back in 2022, just before I went to Spain.
Wow. Back in 2020, man, that's crazy. And
Yeah.
how did you go with that?
I got on really, really well with it, to be fair. But with that one, so many people can't get on with that due to, like, it's quite heavy on the side effects. Don't
Yeah.
know if you've seen a bit of a lawsuit going on with it right now as well.
No, I haven't
It's
seen it.
it's all over TikTok. There's like 200 people that supposedly have gone that I've got, like, when I looked into it, it weren't 200. Like, they're saying 200 people have got blindness problems, but when I looked into it, a percentage have got that, and the rest have got like chronic GI issues and things like that. It doesn't surprise me because a lot of
Mm,
people I trialed it, it was heavy on the side effects. A lot of people in the UK, I do say to them, you can get it on prescription, apply to it. It was quite easy to get on prescription a year ago, but they've made it hard now. You have to send pictures of yourself to prove that you're overweight and things like that.
Yeah.
With the Retta, it is grey market, it is underground. So a lot of people do ask me for that. And
Yep.
social media don't necessarily like that sort of stuff.
Oh,
So I do tell people, but if you go on TikTok, it's everywhere.
it's everywhere, man. It's all what is it, a Telegram and all these different chats you can go on and
And even in America, where I thought it would be quite hard to get, but people are openly got it on their link tree and their TikTok and they're talking about it. It's crazy. But I always just say to people, look, just look at it like an aid in helping you control your eating, because that is in what I mainly take it for. But you know,
yeah,
I
because
don't.
I know some of your videos, like you're obviously a bit more of a bodybuilder, and then in other videos, like it's just full cut down,
Yeah,
and is
yeah,
that
yeah.
like part of that due to the red true tide?
So I was big into bodybuilding
Yep.
in about 2022 when I left to Spain. I kind of quit it because it does make my sleep apnea worse. So,
Mm.
and then we could get into that when I talk about my story if
Yeah.
you want to get into that.
Yeah.
And I could
Absolutely.
talk about that. But now I've had to quit it completely. I don't know if you could tell by
Yeah,
a
I mean,
small
I
now.
can tell, man. Definitely, you can definitely see the difference.
I'm
Um,
about 77 kilos now. So,
fucking hell, man, that's nuts. 77 kilos.
and my biggest was 107. So,
Yeah, it's a huge difference. And I mean, people carry a lot of weight in there, as you probably know, like a lot of fat in the tongue muscle itself.
yeah,
And obviously, in the neck, which is why, so many people have sleep apnea. So, and it can sometimes be like the difference of like 2, 3 kilos. You probably know this yourself.
yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't take much just to tip you over the edge.
Oh, 100%. Like
Yeah.
even me the other day, I have to avoid carbs. I had a lot of carbs the other day. I thought because I was eating low carb and my sleep was feeling better, I had a lot of carbs that night. Just the glycogen. This is my theory anyway. I don't know if it's
No,
true,
no, no. Tell
but
me.
the tongue is just muscle and fat, really. So just like all the muscles, is susceptible to filling with glycogen and water. So when I have a lot of carbs, I haven't proved it, but my sleep gets considerably worse. So I have to annoyingly, I love my carbs, but I have to annoyingly eat low carb.